Hello, Tao. Good morning, and how are you, faithful Captain Niner? Coming to you on this. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Coming to you, February, December. I am all over the place. Hi, it's February 10th, the day after the Super Bowl, and apparently I have a sneezing problem this morning. So hopefully you guys know. You guys all know who won last night. Let's be honest. Let's just not get into it. I will just say this: 205 more days until the 49ers play again. That's what we got. So it's gonna be a long one, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of you guys are gonna turn to baseball and all that kind of stuff. I don't like baseball. I find it to be most boring. Granted, gonna have some hockey here, go cracking for a while. But let's be honest, during the meat of the summer, I ain't got nothing to watch. I just go over more football. So all right, let's get into it. Obviously, I know you guys watched the Super Bowl last night. Um, on one hand, thank you to the Philadelphia Eagles for not letting the Kansas City Chiefs become the first team to repeat. Thank you for giving them a complete ass whooping. And for the love of God, was it not so good to see the Eagles not get every single call go their way? Because I think that was a very good officiating game in any aspect. No, there were some terrible calls, especially in the beginning. But seeing those calls, like pretty much, we've been, accustomed to every time that there's a penalty on the field. Ah, shit, that's going for the Chiefs. We've been just that's the way life has gone. The sun rises, the sun falls. Chiefs get every penalty, especially in clutch situations. The fact that I don't even remember what it was. I know I looked it up last night, but the fact that they weren't getting every single call going their way, it was an amazing thing. I mean, it's so much better to watch. And you know what? Some of us are probably being a little petty this morning. You know what? Enjoy being that petty. That level of pettiness feels good right now. But anyways, overall, an absolutely domination from the Philadelphia Eagles. But at the same time, how much do we like the Eagles? Like I said, for me, it's a tie between the Seahawks and the Cowboys. For those of you who don't know, I live in Seattle. Overall, I know that the biggest rival to the 49ers has been the Cowboys. That's just your perennial one. For me, living in Seattle, and obviously, with everything that's happened newish with them, that's my closest one. I think next on the list for me, so number three, would be the Eagles. So at the same time as I'm praising them, I don't want to see them win the Super Bowl. But at the same time, you beat the Chiefs. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Oh, that sounds terrible. But anyways, congratulations to them. Jalen Hurts on being the MVP. I was wondering if Sweat was going to be the MVP because I think he ended up with 3.5 sacks. But yeah, good to see them. I know they made a little bit of a comeback, the end of the fourth or end of the third into the fourth. But let's be honest, at that point, Philly was starting to put in some of the reserves, and the Chiefs still had out all their players. Philly's still playing out there playing prevent defense, so it's easier. So I mean, it was honestly done by the end of the third quarter. So I mean, it was just, and I was wondering if they were going to score. That defense just had them shut down left and right, and God damn, it was good seeing Patrick Mahomes get sacked that many times. But anyways, yeah, a little petty. But anyways, that's enough of some other team. Let's talk about. Well, if you were paying attention at all yesterday, and I'm sure everybody's phone was blowing up, Debo. So it came out first with Ian Rappaport reporting that the 49ers were going to be looking for a trade partner to move on from Debo Samuels. And I want to say that lasted for about an hour, maybe three tops. Because I was going to say, I put notes aside about it to make it for today's show. But then um, Diana Prusa, she's from The Athletic, and I'm stalling on her name right now. Please forgive me. I know it's Diana Lucini, or her name from The Athletic, come out and say that's not exactly how it went out. It's actually Debo made the request that his exit interview with the 49ers to be traded and that he was granted permission to look for a trade. So basically, even though I've been pretty, saying that, no matter what, Debo's probably going to be gone or Debo will be here next year. The fact now that Debo has asked for his trade to me, and I know we think this is what the third season now we've said this. I think there's something more to it this season. Now that I think Debo realizes his role is going to start being diminished here. He wants to somehow revive his career. Maybe he doesn't necessarily think he can do it here. But let's read what the quote says. It says, "It was a hard conversation to have with Kyle because of the relationship that we have. They are very close. They're probably closer than your typical player-coach um, relationship would be, which is also part of the problem, honestly." Samuel said, "But I have to do what's best. I am more than thankful for the Niners giving me the opportunity of a lifetime, but now I think it's best that we find another team." So basically, like I said, I think he knows some of the younger guys in here, they're going to start coming up. They're going to start eating into his opportunities, and that they're good, and they're going to, it's basically going to go away, and he's going to become more of a uh, basically the kick returner / trick weapon instead of being the offensive weapon. He's just going to be more trickster kind of a thing, which is probably something he doesn't want. I completely understand that. But so, like I said, up until hearing that, and then the rumor about him putting up his house for sale, which Larry Krueger had talked about, I want to say about a week ago, but nothing had been finalized or anything. Like no one could actually confirm it, but lots and lots of people were talking about his house where it wasn't for sale. Maybe it just wasn't listed yet. Maybe it's not looking. The question is, and I've seen this go back and forth between quite a few people, is what do you take for Debo? Honestly, I still think Debo's worth more than a fifth, but I think you might, if teams if with injuries and all that kind of stuff, there's always a rash of injuries come, the first of the year, first couple of games of the year, training camp type thing, to where it's always settled around like one position group. Maybe this is the wide receiver year, like 2 or 3 top wide receivers get hurt, especially if it happens on like one team, kind of a situation, and you're desperate. You need somebody like, crap, we'll give you a third for Debo kind of a thing. So I don't think he's necessarily going instantly. I do think with that contract, it might be a little hard to find somebody, but maybe things can get negotiated and contracts change, blah, blah, blah. And I also know that there is still the option of making him a post June 1st cut, which would save like five mil off the 17 mil he would make no matter what. So again, I'm not necessarily a contract guy. I don't understand how that all works. There's quite a bit of other people who do. But again, looks like more and more, at least at some point, we're good chance we are moving on from Debo. It's just what's it going to be cost? Speaking of good things happening now, though, Diana Rossini, that was her name who I was trying to think of earlier and could not get her name right. So Diana Rossini was also with the Debo one, is reporting that negotiations have already began with Brock's team. I would have hoped they would have started earlier. Like I figure, you give everybody a day, maybe a week after the season, and then you go right back to work, kind of a thing. So I would, so good to hear that they're going. Who knows? It doesn't say how far along they are in negotiations, but at the very least, again, I want this shit honestly done before the draft. This needs to be done before the draft. That way you can start working on all your other stuff that you need to get done. The holes you have to fill, with after free agency, like does Dre Greenlaw stay? Oh, if he doesn't, okay, now this is now linebackers of space that we need to fill in from the draft. Debo's gone. Okay, we got this guy. BA won't be back to start the season. We're gonna need another wide receiver in here, probably. Obviously we're gonna probably hire your trade for one, sign one kind of a thing, but maybe we need another one down the pipeline. So trade. So again, all of this stuff needs to be done prior to the draft. Let me bring up something like that. All right. And then, so yeah, good things are. And by the way, don't freak out about the money. Brock's going to get paid, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Those of y'all who think he's only going to make $30 million a year or 25 or any of that kind of crap, Brock's going to get paid. His agent has a job to make sure Brock gets paid. Whether you like quarterbacks and how much they get paid, whether you like this particular player or not, that position, that salary is going to skyrocket constantly. There's nothing that's going to be done. Honestly, anything under probably like 57, and his agent almost probably doesn't get another player because he's obviously way better than than Dak, all those guys. So why are we paying him the same, if not more, or, a little bit under or the same, when he's clearly better than those guys who are barely above mediocre? So be prepared for Brock to make a lot of money. All right, so here's a little timeline of what's going to be going on the rest of the month, and I did not squeeze this in quite as good as I thought. All right, so obviously this is a calendar for February. We just finished the Super Bowl, so starting next Tuesday, we got nothing the rest of this week. Next Tuesday is the first day that anybody can be franchised or transition designations. Any of that kind of stuff. For people who thought maybe we would franchise tag Brock or any of that, we can't even do that until next Tuesday. That is when all that stuff will come out. And then on the last week of February, from the 24th, and I want to say it's all the way to the 2nd of March, we've got the combine. So we are already up into this. So basically, for a lot of stuff for Niner Faithful Radio, we're going to kind of take this week off. Next week, unless something big happens for like all of us, I don't expect them to franchise tag Brock. I truly do not. It would just be dumb to franchise tag him because it just costs 10 times more money. So unless something like that comes along, don't expect big news on the Niners unless, obviously a Debo trade or anything like that. But then starting on the 24th, hopefully I'm working by then, and then these will change. I'm still going to do these in the morning, but I'm definitely going to be changing them up how I do them. But we start combine coverage. So, we'll probably take one player a day or something like that at the combine and see how it goes from there. There's nothing going on here at Niner Faithful Radio today. So the next time you'll see my pretty face will be tomorrow morning when we do this again. And then tomorrow afternoon, me and TJ will be going live at 4:30 for our regular Tuesday show. He hasn't given me the topic yet, so I'm not quite sure. Usually he gives it to me Monday afternoon. But yeah, so we'll be talking about that. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to the people at Goat Fuel. We are an affiliate here, or at least I am an affiliate here at the Captain and Coffee Morning Show with Goat Fuel, backed by the GOAT himself, Jerry Rice. Right now, make your order. You get 10% off if you use the link in the bio that I'm going to put down there. It's good for you. It saves you some money, puts some money in my pocket. Everybody is happy. And when you do order, make sure to get this nice, cool, limited edition gold Jerry can. I'm not sure what flavor that is. I think it's a tropical punch, I believe is what it is. But yeah, so please, again, if you're going to be doing any of that, make sure to use that link in the bio, in the information below, and get yourself some Goat Fuel. So until tomorrow morning, unless some crazy news pops up between now and then, Fafatai Ten Lava. Have a good day, faithful. One love.